Hi Hinsters, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new to, welcome to even. It is Aries season, it's the beginning of the new astrological year. Pardon my voice, I am a teacher, so it's been 3 weeks now since the new term started, and I've been using my voice like crazy, so it's a little hoarse, a little Cilla Black. But we are going to roll with it, and it's been months and months actually since I last made a video, so here we are back again. My name is Hinny, I'm a spiritual astrologer and tarot reader, and you can get in touch with me in the description below if you'd like a reading or have any kind of inquiry. And it's finally spring. Spring has sprung, like literally spring has sprung here in Korea. It's like 20 degrees today. My hair is a bit crazy today. I was just outside. I went to the pictures and I saw the new Snow White film. It was so good. It was charming. It was cheerful. I liked the CGI. And yeah, it was just nice because I haven't been to the pictures in a long time. And I used to make a habit of going almost every Sunday. But then I stopped for a while. I was also in a relationship, and it was quite, let's just say it was quite eventful and enlightening, but I am a single Pringle now, again, and I'm happy for it. And I'm ready to remain single for a wee while longer. But let me know how yous are doing in the comments, and give this video a like if you like what I do. This video is going to be on Aries season and kind of the start to the new astrological year, the new spiritual year, and I haven't got a script, so I've decided, you know, from this year I'm gonna give less of a feck about so many different things in my life and in my just in my life, and yeah, I hope that you vibe with it as well, that you like it. I'm going to be over on TikTok as well, like 2 to 3 times a week, universe willing, so follow me over there. I can't remember exactly what my TikTok handle is. I think it's Queer Hinny or Hinny. I'll put it in the description later. Anyway, yeah, let me know how you're doing, and if you're an Aries, happy birthday to you, Aries. I love my Aries people, you know. One of my really good friends who I met when I was doing my masters in the UK, she is an Aries sun, and she's fantastic. And you know, some of the great things about Aries people with a lot of Aries energy, they're kind of like Fergie. She's also an Aries sun, by the way. Venus is an Aries right now, by the way. So is Mercury, and they're both retrograde as I film right now. And anyway, one of the great things I like about Aries people is that they have this like honesty, this bluntness, but it's also very like, it's combined with innovation and a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? A kind of innocence, like an innocent kind of honesty or bluntness. And often, because it's like that innovation as well, they want to help you with the things that they do or say, even though there's that kind of Martian brashness or bluntness to it. And so I love Aries people. And anyway, this friend of mine who I met, so at that time I had been given lots of like academic talks, paper presentations. I was teaching some courses at that time. I was doing my PhD, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because I met her when she was doing her master's and I was doing my PhD. That's it. And she told me one time when she came to see one of my papers, she just came up to me at the end. She was like, it was great, blah, blah, but you move your hands too much. Or you do this a lot. And she was like, maybe do that less. But like everything else was great. And it was like one of the first times that I'd ever had someone like come to me in that way, because I think most people at that time, especially most people around me, either they wouldn't say things that I needed to hear, perhaps, even though they might have felt it or thought it, which is, I guess, being polite, whatever, more on the Libran side of things, or they would be really shady or bitchy. Can I say bitchy? Bishy? Can I say bishy? on YouTube? I don't know. Or they will be really shady or bitchy. Oh, look, Page of Swords coming out. Gemini vibes. Page of Swords. Look at that. Or they'd be really shady or bitchy about things that, again, they felt or thought, but like the way they were expressing or communicating it was just not nice. But not with this friend and not with a lot of Aries people. I think they have usually that innocent, kind of innovative will to like push or pioneer something or someone, or like cheer you on in some kind of raw way. And I love it. And I feel like Fergie, although I don't know Fergie at all, I think she's a good mother. I know she has a kid or kids. I just feel vibes from her that she's like a good mother. And speaking of mothers, we've got Venus. Yes, she's the ruler of women. She is in Aries right now, retrograde. That's the sign that she falls in. Not falls, sorry. She's in detriment in astrology. But guess who else is in Aries? The sun, because it's the beginning of the astrological year and the spiritual spring has sprung upon us, right? And he is in his exaltation in the sign of Aries, which is like the Disneyland sign or space for this god. And it's brilliant because Mercury and Venus, both retrograde, are under the beams of this sun, and he's kind of come into Aries. He's like, hey, hey, hey. And yeah, speaking of Mercury and the Page of Swords, by the way, maybe right now in this Aries season, because we're starting this new year, this spiritual spring with retrograde planets too, there could be this typical retrograde thing of people coming back into our lives, and they might be Geminian. I know that's happening for me. They might be Geminian or of some kind of Geminian or Page of Swords type of energy or vibe. And I would say to let it happen, just roll with it, but like roll with it with the kind of raw, rough kind of Aries, gut instinct, intuition. And also I would say like don't be afraid to be alone or do things on your own as we start this new year. We've got Mars, who is the ruler of Aries, right, hosting this Sun, Venus, Chiron as well, and Mercury in Aries. This Mars is hosting all of these planets, but he is over in Cancer in his actual fall. That's his fall. I move my hands a lot, okay, in Cancer. So he's there in Cancer in his fall. And I think this is a big sign or omen for many of us to not be afraid to be alone or to do things on your own. I was just thinking this earlier as well, like, you know, when you want to go to the gym or start running, a lot of us, we want to find an accountability partner or a partner to do that with. But then when that partner, like, can't come out with us because they're lazy or they just can't be asked or they have an emergency, they're sick, whatever, that can easily look, another swords card, Four of Swords, that can easily like basically throw us into the same type of energy. Do you know what I mean? Like it can be like, well, because they're not going out, I can't go out either because I've like subconsciously or consciously I have formed this bond with this person or these people. I can't do it either. But that's very not Aries. It's very not Aries. Aries is like, I don't give a feck. I'm going to still go to the gym. I'm going to go on a run. And it's also the same with our hobbies. So be at peace, Four of Swords. Be at peace in your head with like doing hobbies as well. Things you like. On your own, even if it's not traditionally something that you do on your own, or like don't be afraid maybe to do it with strangers and whatever it is, because like hobbies, that's like an investment in your happiness. You know, the things that you like and the things that you enjoy, that's an investment. So don't let like, you know, these conscious or subconscious commitments you've made with people or a person or a partner kind of bring you down or stop you from doing those things. So that's what I think Mars and Cancer has to offer us as well, because Cancer is a very like, you know, habitual type of watery energy. It's very emotional. It's very, you know, we can be very stuck in how someone cancelling on us, for example, might make us feel, or being ghosted, how it might make us feel. But Mars in Cancer is kind of teaching a lot of us right now to not give a feck about that and to kind of fight through those feelings, and also to fight out of a habit or two, because we're in the beginning of the astrological year. So this really is the time for those resolutions to really come through, and we've got the real actual energy now to hit the ground running and approach some of these habits. And what's going on with my phone? I don't know. But anyway, yes, I think that is something. Oh, another swords card. Bloody hell, all the swords coming out right now. 2 of swords. Mercury, let's talk about Mercury, shall we? We've got Mercury, yes, in Aries, retrograde. So we've got those classical retrograde energy type things, people coming back from the past perhaps. We've got the Sun, Mercury and Venus all together, like conjunct, and the Sun right now as I film, by the way, in exactly the same place as Venus. So Venus, she's having this kind of astrological traditional reset. So it's like this 2 of Swords card in a way. She's having her eyes shut or closed. There's some big reset, and you need to look at your birth chart as well. Where do you have Libra and Taurus? Because these are the 2 houses that she rules. So there could be this big reset in one or both of those houses for you as Venus traverses through the Sun, still retrograde as well, and she goes further and further out of Aries again and back into Pisces. Well, that's like where she's heading. So yeah, there's lots of swords here. There's lots of food for thought, or fire for thought. And for me, like, I'm a Cancer rising, so for example, this is in my 11th house, where I'm having this Venusian reset at the beginning of the year, which is the house of wishes and friendships and like pennies and good things rained on us from above, from the gods above. And also my 4th house, which is the house of home. I'm in my home right now. And the house of things like family and the deepest, most unconscious things, and also mysteries and good stuff like that. So I'm having myself some resets in those areas. Look, the Empress, she's coming out. First major arcana card to come out in this here reading, the Empress. This is Venus. Ho ho. I love it. I love it. We've got Venus coming out. I think there's just a lot of, like, this is a snake year, by the way. The overarching energy is snake. So we're done with the dragon. The dragon has landed. It's not so much about being epic, and like, I don't think this year is going to be a lot of like epic battles kind of thing, or like posturing. It's going to be a lot more snaky. So we're getting into shadow, feminine energy, spiritually speaking, and it's much more about kind of in the Wild Unknown tarot deck, which I often use on my channel and in my readings, it's a snake, and this big mother snake is, she's like on her eggs or on a nest or something like that, and it's kind of like that. So tending, not even tending, but like just protecting and being on those eggs. And I think what this means at the beginning of this year, so you have all this feminine retrograde and shadow energy in this very like fresh spring Aries season. It's kind of like just focusing and trying to shut yourself out and away from a person or people or a habit or things that will distract you and even destroy you, or try to destroy you from your goals, from the things that you want to achieve. And it's not necessarily going to be easy, because we're kicking it off with this retrograde energies, Mercury included, right? Mercury also rules 2 of your houses in the birth chart. For me, it's my 12th and my 3rd houses. So there could be, you know, a lot of slow or sluggish or kind of kinks in the works type of stuff going on. But I think there's still a lot of excitement and fire and passion, like deep inside. Or it's like passive. It's like, definitely wear your shades. Okay, even if it's not sunny where you are, wear your shades, put your sunscreen on, protect yourself, say less, listen more and pay attention to the vibes and the things that are going on around you. Another card coming out. Six of Cups, lovely. Six of Cups. So what was I saying? Yeah, pay attention to the vibes, the things going on around you. And you know, with the Six of Cups, Moon's in Capricorn right now as I film. It could be a lot to do with when we have the snake and the eggs, for example, this mother snake and the eggs. It's the things that you want to commit to in terms of family, generation, intergenerational stuff. But also I think like the people and the things that have brought those eggs to you in a way, or that have brought the energies and opportunities and the spaces for you to have laid those eggs in the first place. So it's retrograde energy again, it's reflection. Like, don't forget who has brought us here. We've got the Moon in Capricorn squaring the Sun in Aries right now, and the Moon opposing Mars, who's hosting this Aries season over in Cancer. So we've got a lot of cardinal and also square energy. Mars, he's the ruler of squares. So I think there's a lot to do with like family. Don't chuck out the family. Don't throw out the bathtub and the bathwater, as the phrase goes. Just because it's Aries season, like it's a lot more of a slower, kind of wiser, snakier type of beginning to the new year. And I think, yeah, again, it has a lot to do with like, because it has a lot to do with who, what brought you these eggs, or these conditions for these eggs to be laid in the first place. And that is very much a Capricorn Aries kind of square energy. Because if you have been following my channel and my readings, look at that, 9 of Cups. If you've been following my channel, my kind of, the stuff I do, like I talk about Capricorn season a lot as being not when we work towards new resolutions so much, and more about like looking back on what we have achieved thus far and appreciating those things. And it's not about like cutting down things to start fresh. It is about like kind of being that goat on the top of the mountain and appreciating again how high you have climbed. So we've got like this 6 to the 9 of Cups energy. I like that a lot. 6 to the 9, Cancer, 69. Chiron in Aries as well. I often think about Chiron when I think of the 9 of Cups. Just like the 9 of Wands as well. They give me Chiron vibes. And Chiron is in Aries, ahead of the Sun and not under the beam so much of the Sun. So I think there's still some say that is being had in Aries from Chiron. Don't get lost, don't get confused as we start in this here Aries season. 7 of Cups there. Because, as I said before, like, it's Aries season, it's spiritual spring. There can be a lot of like things, people, situations, spaces, new things as well that are coming in to just throw you off and distract you. And also this card often, the 7 of Cups, is about like you don't always have to rush to make a choice, especially in a snake year. You don't have to rush or panic. And also just be going about your merry way this year. Go about your merry way and don't worry about how your energy or your spirit or whatever might be scaring or intimidating others or triggering the insecurities of others. So long as you're being your authentic self and you're not doing anything deliberately wrong to other people and yourself, just keep going, you know, just keep slithering away, you know, like the snake. And you know, in these Chinese mythologies of kind of the race, the snake obviously comes after the dragon. I mentioned that earlier, but the snake comes before the horse. I was born in the year of the horse, by the way, but in many of the tellings of this race, the reason that the horse didn't finish before the snake was because the horse, it was, you know, he was on his merry way. He was gonna finish before the snake. But unbeknownst to him, there was a snake, and he saw the snake, and he got spooked. And actually, I follow this British horse rider on TikTok, and I love her TikTok. It's mainly just her, like, riding her horse or horses through the countryside, and it's just so cathartic and lovely. It's just lovely. But often what I am seeing in these TikToks of hers is that the horses get spooked a lot. They get spooked by so many different things. Like one of the TikToks, it was like some steam or smoke coming from a chimney, and the horse just would not go past that house with the smoking chimney. But it's just a bit of smoke, but like maybe to the horse it was like a snake, you know? And that's the reason why the snake didn't come before. Sorry, the horse didn't come before the snake, because the horse got startled, and the snake wasn't even trying to like startle the horse. It was just going about its merry way, trying to finish the race, and probably didn't even realize the horse was behind it. But the horse saw it and got startled, and came finished behind the snake. So that's, long story short, that's what I want to say to some of us, is like, in the snake year, don't be afraid of like how you're doing things or what you're doing, and that it might be like scaring or intimidating or triggering the insecurities of others. Just keep on keeping on. That's a very snake year type of vibe as well. Like the snake, that mother snake on the eggs, just stay there. You're staying there, you're fixating on the goals of yours that you have. One of my big goals is to drive. Like, I'm in my 30s now, but I think, well, A, I never really had a need to drive, and B, I was afraid, or I am afraid, but I want to do it now, and I want to do it for the first time for myself this astrological year, for myself, because it's something that is like quite big for me and quite scary for me, but I'm going to do it, because like plenty of people around me do it, and if they can do it, I can do it, right? And that's one of the goals that I am setting on this year. And I think that's important for a lot of us in this snake year. Whatever your goals are, Aries season can give you that fire, that spark, yes. But also I think there's this sign with the Seven of Cups as well. Like, don't get distracted, don't get confused, or don't let, I guess, like the things that other people have to say, slow you down, or whatever the case might be. I'm gonna, by the way, be coming back and doing tarot readings for all the signs on YouTube. So I'll do like monthlies for each of the rising signs. So as you might know, I do rising sign astrology. So if you know your rising sign, look out for those videos when they come out. Anyway, it's Sunday Fun Day as I film this reading, and yeah, let's talk a bit more about the sun, shall we? So he is the ruler, the god of fathers and kings and leaders, guardians, and he is the god of vitality and joy and appreciation. And we have at the center of my reading here, we've got the Six of Cups again, which is very much a card about appreciation. So especially on a Sunday Fun Day, don't forget to check in with the family, the loved ones, like who you actually give a feck about. And that's another thing in the snake year. It's about like, because the sun, he's the ruler of appreciation, but the people, the things who actually mean something to you, you know? And they should be the things and the people that you stay kind of trying to incubate in this here snake year, and not like the Seven of Cups, not getting, again, distracted, confounded by the riffraff. We should have learned a lot about the riffraff in the dragon year, like the people and the things that we don't need to give a feck about. 8 of Pentacles. Just keep on. So if in the dragon year you've had this epic kind of thing go on for you, now you're like settled, or you've been in this fight to protect something, it's over now, that fight, and now it's more about like maintaining what you have accrued. And we got another Pentacles card, Page of Pentacles, and it's also about, like how in Snow White, this film I saw today, the 2025 version, she's like just so in touch with, and so like sweetly and innocently in touch with, and like competently in touch with everything around her, everyone around her. She like knows all the familial histories of the people in her village. She like just doesn't even have to try with the animals, the creatures around her. They just come to her, and there's just this effortless communication that is had. And I think that kind of energy is really nice and feminine and shadow. And if we play with that and we stick with that in this snake year, and in Aries season, we just use that to further feed and fuel those burning things that we know are right, and the things that we know we want to go ahead toward and to achieve, I think will be grand. And Page of Pentacles, it is like those birds and little deer and everything and everyone else that comes into our lives or is in our lives with something to offer, like a favor, a morsel of advice, a little bit of their time, whoever it is. Like, don't snub that. Don't be superficial also about those things, and appreciate those things and those people, no matter how small they are, because it's all these like little small and slow and simple and effortless things, I think, that in this here Aries season and later into the meat and bones of the snake year, I think it's those things that are going to keep us going. But what will not keep us going is if we are still in this kind of I guess like dragon type of energy, and we are, some of us in the dragon year, we got very like ferocious, and it's very much about being stuck in like a fierce grudge, or stuck in a fierce fear even, or just traumatized. A lot of people are traumatized, and they use that for no fault of their own to like attack and burn and fire and continue to defend themselves ferociously or dramatically, or even in some cases make a huge fuss over nothing. It's nothing anymore. But some of us will still be in that energy, and it's very hard in the snake year, because what we're doing is we're just like setting fire to those eggs, or we're crushing the eggs, and it's like kind of suffocating any chance for the things to hatch that are being incubated. So that's something I think that we have to learn. Bottom of the deck, look at that. King of Wands. By the way, the King of Wands card in the Wild Unknown Tarot is a cobra. So that's quite nice. I think that's a nice way to end on like cobra. There's actually a salamander and two lions in this traditional King of Wands card. But this is a nice note to end on, I think, talking about like the transition from the dragon to the snake year. So that's kind of the overarching bottom of the deck energy. I will take a picture of these cards and put them on my Instagram. You can look in the description to get a look at the cards that we pulled today. But in the core center of this spread for this Aries season video, we've got the Six of Cups. So again, I think a lot of it comes back to like appreciation, and we've got these we've got Mars, right, who is hosting the Sun in Aries in Cancer. So the Six of Cups, yeah, it is kind of Cancerian. It's very often in tarot associated with family and inheritance, and like the things that we owe people that have come before us or given us stuff or opportunities. So it's like yes, it's Aries. It's about being pioneering and brave and focusing on our goals, but it's also about like not forgetting not forgetting who and what has brought us these eggs, which are those containers of these beautiful things that we want to achieve this here. Yeah. Anyway, have a lovely Sunday, Funday, and weekend. It is nice to get back on here and give something to you. I hope you are well, and I will be back very soon with another one. Take care. I love you. Bye bye.